I know Roosh returned and he's reformed the LFI with the Beast Mortos and Dralistico. Um,
I like that match, that the three-way match there. It was entertaining. It
it
was
was entertaining.
yeah, it was a lot of high flying stuff, but very very fun to watch.
This match was not for the Cult of Cornet.
No, no, it wasn't. No.
No, it was not. But I can't help but enjoy. I mean, I understand it doesn't exactly look like a simulated combat sport per se, but is it impressive? It's very impressive, especially the way these guys move around the Beast Mortos, and the way he moves is always entertaining to watch. What are your thoughts on Hologram, who is sort of kind of becoming a fan favorite of this Collision crowd?
Yeah, at first, when it was rolled out and it seemed like Tony Khan was putting a lot of stock into it, to me the rollout wasn't so good at first. Like okay, so it's another flippy guy. I mean, I'll use the
Yeah,
cult of cornet language for it, but he's starting to grow on me, and but you got to work him with guys like he did last night, Mortos and the lucha guys, the guys. But when you put him in that mix, he's gonna be fun to watch. And it kind of reminds me a little bit of WCW in the late '90s, when that little period of time, that year or two, when everything was going perfect in WCW. You had your big man division with the NWO and what was going on there, and you had your cruiserweight division with Eddie Guerrero and Benoit and Malenko, and then you had the Lucha guys, and it was like they didn't need to interact with each other.
yeah,
It was just okay. This is the Lucha segment.
yeah.
If it's booked that way, um, I look forward to that segment each week, or on each show, on the Collision and Dynamite shows. So, in that context, hologram, yeah, he's now. There was one move last night. The only time I've got a problem with any of those things, I don't mind the flippy stuff, as the detractors call it. It's when it takes a little too long to develop. And there was one move where he started walking the ropes and did a, a what was that? Like a shooting star press off the top rope onto the floor onto a guy. It was impressive. It just took a little too long to develop. Got to get a little more crisp with that. But
Yeah.
those matches are fun, and the Beast Mortos is a perfect foil, because he's shorter, but as a result, he's still about the same weight as the other guys. He's around 200 pounds, but he's packed because he's probably about 5'5" or 5'6". He's a bigger guy for a
Yeah.
small guy, and so he's a great guy to work with the high flyer guys. Um, and it's just entertaining. I am entertained by those matches.
I've often thought I almost wish they could trade out one of these mid card men's titles for a lucha title.
Yeah.
And maybe that's something they can work on with CMLL, having some one of those. They have CMLL has so many titles, so many middleweight, welterweight titles, historic, whatever. It'd be nice to see one of those come over to AEW and just have that division sort of have some more gravity to it, that these guys are contending for one title, and it kind of is a way for these guys to all emerge and converge in one part of the show. Um, I mean, I'm not saying we need more titles in AEW, but maybe a substitute would be nice.
Well, I think we talked about this sometime recently. Almost like how TNA had the X division.
Mm-hmm.
To make the TNT title a different belt than just another belt that a guy has. They've got a
Yep.
continental belt now. Maybe set uh whether you make it formal or not. Just almost make it like, okay, so the Beast Mortos is the continental champion, and he wrestles against a bunch of other lucha types. And it wouldn't just have to be
Yeah.
luchas. You could throw top flight in there. The top
Mm-hmm.
flight
Yeah.
individual guys, Action Andretti, could fit that style. Leo Rush has worked in Mexico for a number of years. But that would sort of be that title. And then maybe your TNT title is kind of like the Intercontinental title was back in the day in WWF, or the U.S. title in the Mid Atlantic territory, where that's your title. If you win that title, we think you're in the mix for a world title run at some point. We want to test you out a little bit. So it's kind
Yep.
of like the mid card title. And give those some defined roles. So it's not just this guy's a champion, this guy's a champion, this other guy over here's a champion. Make it defined, and that would work. I think that kind of thing could work.
Absolutely. I think and when the international title was unveiled, that's what I wanted that to be a title for. I mean, you have Johnny. what is his name? Johnny Elite, Johnny TV.
Johnny
What's his name?
Collision, Dynamite, whatever he is now.
But
Yeah.
like you said, Action Andretti, Leo Rush, Top Flight. There's so many guys who would have been perfect for that late '90s WCW cruiserweight division. That you could make that kind of title the international, the TNT title could be the title for the next world champion. Um, I wish the TNT championship was more like a traditional television title, but anyways,
Yeah.
uh, wish in one hand and what in the other, right? But anyways, yeah, I love that hologram match, and I really enjoy hologram. But like you said, you have to put him with more of these lucha guys or people like the Beast Mortos who are foils for these guys. Um, I'm interested to see, I guess it looks like it's going to be him and LFI feuding for a little while. And Hologram versus Roosh would be fantastic. So,
And let's get a good build to the feud,
yeah.
and let it develop for a while. But I agree.